Hi, my name is Anna Fields. I'm a freshman from the Magnet Cove, Arkansas area, which is a little town between Melbourne and Hot Springs, if you're familiar with the area. I'm currently majoring in political science with an emphasis in history with a plan to go to law school after graduation. I'm a resident in Bussey Hall as of right now, and I absolutely love it there. In my free time, I like to spend time with my family, friends, and my dogs. I'm big on watching Dancing with the Stars every Tuesday, and I love to cook or bake new foods, which really started for me in COVID when I had nothing better to do and it just really kind of stuck. In high school, most of my free time was taken up with band events or FFA, so I'm still trying to find new ways to fill my time here at SAU. Definitely open to suggestions if you have any. I decided to apply for this position for many reasons, the most important being involving myself in the community. I've really enjoyed the involvement I've had at SAU in the community so far, especially in my residence hall, so I would love to have the opportunity of being an RA to immerse myself even further in the community. I would also love to be a help to the students of the hall with planning, budgeting, mental health, and so many more serious issues that are hitting students all across the country right now. Being an RA, I would be able to provide assistance with these problems through actives, intentionals, and just being a known figure that residents can come to when struggling. I know so far this semester my RAs have been an immense help with me in almost all of these categories, and I would love to pay it forward next semester. My proudest accomplishment this semester is very hard to put a name to. I would like to say finding my place in the community and finding my career path are just about tied. I believe that the social aspect of college is just as important as the educational aspects, so I would say that finding my place here and making connections is just as important as making good grades and making a career plan. To me, the fact that I have begun both of these this semester is my proudest accomplishment. I think my friends and coworkers would describe me very differently based on who they are. I think my coworkers would describe me as serious but lighthearted. I know how to have a decent time, but I'm focused on the job at hand. By friends, I would probably be described as very talkative and involved in almost everything around me. I really like to just be doing something all the time. By both, I would probably be described as paying very close attention to detail and being very focused at my task on hand. But I think that could come in handy as an RA. For my previous job experience, I started out working as a nanny for a group of siblings, which I absolutely adored. I continued that job through the summers for about 4 years, up until the summer before moving to Magnolia for college. I also worked at a Subway as a sandwich artist for about 6 months, so right before I started the nannying, at the end, it was my senior year. During my time at Subway, I handled customer service, including working the register, answering the phones, which usually meant handling a complaint, and making the sandwiches for the customers, which definitely taught me some patience. But I think that could be pretty beneficial in this job. To me, building a sense of community in the context of being an RA would mean creating a feeling of togetherness. I think bringing together the students of the residence hall that I'm working in would be the first step. Then bringing them out into the community and getting them involved in SAU community activities would be the next step. And eventually getting them involved in the Magnolia community. Giving the students friends and connections gives them a community to lean on, which will allow them to thrive throughout the rest of their college experience and even into their careers using the connections they make in this community. Hi, sorry for the little location change right in the middle of this video, but one of my clips got deleted. So if I were to go about reaching out to somebody on my floor that were different than me, I would begin with finding something that I relate to them on. I think that no matter who you are or where you come from, you have at least one thing in common with everybody. I would try to connect with them on this shared interest or experience and build off of that. Creating a connection with the residents on my floor would be my first step in the first interaction I have with any of them, no matter if that first interaction is brought on naturally or from a negative event. I think that making myself seem relatable and approachable would be extremely important in reaching out to a student on my floor who may be different than me so that we can still connect despite the differences. I have many different experiences with leadership, volunteering, diversity, and working as a team that would allow for me to be a good fit for RA. I worked as a section leader for my marching band, which gave me leadership skills. I also volunteered for numerous events for students at my elementary school, starting from the time I was in my first year of middle school until I moved to Magnolia for college. I actually plan on going back in a couple weeks to help with our food boxes and present program for our families in need. I also volunteered making food bags for years. I mean, I started in elementary school for other elementary students in need and continued that up until my senior year of high school. I volunteered at food pantries, soup kitchens, all the things, and that just really gave me a good experience in diversity. I saw people in different situations financially, racially, religiously, and those with different family differences and backgrounds, which I think would give me kind of an idea of how to interact with people with these different backgrounds in the dorms. I also learned how to work as a team, which would help me work with the other RAs and the higher-ups of the residence hall I would be placed in. I experienced these team building skills through my experiences in marching band and concert band, FFA competitions, and theater. I also had a team building experience earlier this year while building the bed for the bed races with the RAs of my hall. I got to see how an RA interacts with residents and how to handle these types of events. I would also be equipped to hand halls with residents with physical and mental disabilities, as I have experience in handling these types of situations. I volunteered in my school's special education program, as well as having experience with a mentally and physically disabled sibling. Between all of my previous experiences, my love for building my connections and community, my overly social at times personality, my passion for helping students through struggles, and my already growing social connections in the community, I think I would be great for the position of RA. Thank you for your time and consideration, and I hope we can speak again.